Time is now 6 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and call to order this meeting of the Tipp City School Board. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Stevens, will you please call the attendance?
Mrs. Drum?
Here.
Mrs. McMurray?
Here.
Mrs. Dillard?
Here.
Mr. Maines?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
All present accounted for. We do have a quorum and can continue this meeting.
All right, fantastic. Okay. At this time, I would love a motion for approval for the meeting agenda.
I'll move that we approve the agenda.
Moved by Mrs. Dillard. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Maines. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to vote on the meeting agenda.
Dillard?
Yes?
Maines?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. We'll start this evening with student recognition.
All right, so we're going to start off with the middle school. We recognize some mental health champions in the kindness leadership group. I'm not sure if anybody's here today. When I introduce your name, feel free to come on up here. You'll get a certificate, shake the hands of the board members here, and then go get a picture on the other side. And parents are welcome to get pictures over there as well. So Aubrey Baker, it was a mental health champion. She's a first initiative to highlight the work they've done to address mental health. The Kindness Group also created and installed a new crisis text hotline throughout the school, ensuring that vital resources are accessible to everyone at all times. And also they did some things for a student made by a group that made to help out with a student who was battling some cancer support created cancer support packages to provide expressions of encouragement and care to people who are battling cancer. So Aubrey Baker, Violet Ramsey, Adelaide Williams, and Alyssa Turner are those students who were part of the Cancer Support Champions, and we want to recognize them and congratulate them. I think they're here today, so congratulations to them. And then Aubrey Baker was mental health champion, so congratulations to her as well. Thank you. Now we have our Destination Imagination crew. So we'll do a team at a time, and the first one is a Broadway LT Ball group. So we have the Kepler's crew who did the Scientific Challenge, and that was Evelyn Borger, James Borger, Aiden Brand, Connor Brand, Amelia Franklin, and Vivian Newborn. Are they here at all today? Yeah. There you go. Come on up.
Congratulations. Good job. There you go. Awesome. Congratulations. Excellent work. Good job. Good job.
Great job.
Congratulations. So cute. Oh, cool. You gotta go over there for a picture. There you go.
We have the Tommies, who also were the Scientific Challenge, and that was Tommy Krim, Yael Dannon. Come on up when I call your name. Yep. Nora Dillard. Tommy.
Nice job. Congratulations.
Nora. Right. We have
Congratulations.
Katana Hansen. There we go. Katana Hansen.
Wow.
And Emily,
Oh, high five.
congratulations.
Oh, wow, you're toothless.
And that was at LT Ball Group. We have a mix of LT Ball and Tip Middle School students. They earned second place in the middle school technical competition, and that was team $5 McRib combo. That accurate? It's Caitlin Kaufman, Luke Kaufman. There they are.
I love
Caitlin.
that name. That's great. I want to know.
Who came up with it?
Yeah.
All of them. Not you.
All of them. Congratulations. Thank you.
Arthur Lambers,
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Owen McDowell, Dylan O'Mara,
Nicely done. Congratulations. Good job, guys. I love that name. Congrats. So awesome. Congrats.
Lincoln Richards, and Christopher Toro.
All right.
Lincoln?
Nicely done, sir. Really like you. All of you. Nicely done. Excellent work. Good job.
Yep. This is strictly a TMS, a Tip Middle School group. They were in second place and they're advancing to the state competition. Is that right? They already did. They already did. And this is Team Donut Republic 3254. All right, so we have Lillian Anderson,
I can get behind that.
I love it.
Ellie Ernst,
Eli.
Eli, sorry.
Eli, you don't want to be Ellie? Are you sure?
Eli's like,
Eli's no thank you.
congratulations, sir.
Harrison Fisher, Alexa Simmons, and Lily Van Oss.
Yes. Yes.
Alexa.
Alexa. And then Lily Flax.
And then the last one was Roman Zeringer.
Congratulations.
Good job. Excellent work.
All right. And the last group is a typical high school group of all ninth graders. So they'll be together for another 3 years, maybe.
Got it.
hopefully.
Maybe. They'll see.
It's not you're not the first time going around together, I don't think. So this group went to state, earned first place at state, and is going to the global tournament in May 23rd, 24th, somewhere around there. And they are Team Just Henry Dot. Right? That's part of your name, correct? Okay. And that name means just him.
Just.
He came up. All right. So, why don't you come up here real quick? So we have Aubrey Ernst, Milo Green,
Aubrey's like,
Aubrey.
everybody come up here.
We'll
Get him, Aubrey.
Aubrey, Milo. Yes. And why don't you stay up here for a minute? Logan, Audrey, sorry. Henry,
Dot, period.
and Addison,
Madison.
and Ella.
Excellent work.
So why don't you tell us what the competition is all about as a group, or do you have a spokesperson? You pointed all somebody?
Be the namesake.
Yeah.
Henry, tell us what it's all
Tell us about VI competition.
Henry, Dot.
It's all about having fun and be working together as a team to work on problem solving.
I like it.
And you won because
We're a
you
good
had a lot
team.
of fun, or you're
Very
pretty
good team.
smart to figure it out.
We're a pretty good team. We've been together for a while, so we can coordinate with each other pretty well, I'd say.
What kind of problems do you have to solve? Do you have an example?
I mean, engineering problems. I mean, we just have to, there's specific challenges, and we just have to find out how to get the most points for each challenge and stuff, so.
Yeah. And this is the first time a DI, or did you guys, this is the first time you qualified, or you're going to global?
That's the first time we're going.
You're going.
Yeah,
You
we
qualified
qualified.
last year, but this time you're actually going and going to win.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Good luck.
Yeah, Renee.
I was just saying.
Renee's been in this DI stuff for a really, really, really long time, in case you guys don't know, and she's an excellent advisor for
Thank
kids.
you,
So thank
advisors.
you, Renee.
Yep.
That's it. All right. That's amazing.
They really do have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah. That's huge when you get to
Parents that came here for
each other
the certificate
for a
award,
while.
you're welcome to stay or you're welcome to go as well. So,
Yeah.
up to you.
Thank you for coming.
High school
You're
students.
leaving. Thank you for coming. Like, donate for them to go.
So did anybody see any of the library reps here?
Yeah, they're right here.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, there they are.
Right there.
Yeah, I just totally missed them.
Yeah. Hold on. One more.
We got more?
It's
Yes.
one, she was with the middle school. I got her in the, for some reason, she's in with the middle school, she did the cancer support champion. Did you, Charlie, did you make some, it said here that you made some, crochet piece for the encouragement for the cancer. Yeah. I must not have made it. Come on up. Charlotte is here.
All right. She's like, whatever.
So what made you interested in doing that?
I just like crocheting and she asked me, so I just did it.
Did it to help out. Good. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. That's so nice. Crochet is a lost art too. It really is. Did she? Let's do a picture. Oh, picture.
Oh yeah, picture. Crocheting. Your potholes for days.
She might.
I know. It's on my bucket list. I'm patient enough to learn.
I just like her outfit. That was cute. Alright, good? Everybody good? Everybody else wants? Alright, fantastic. Alright, next, we're gonna move on to our library tax budget presentation. So our presenters are, let's see, Karen Swanson, no, these are not, yes, and William House. Lisa Santucci instead of William House.
Yes.
So just so everybody knows, for purposes, the tax budget will be presented. We'll issue a notice of a public hearing to be held on May 20th at 5:45.
and then the tax budget will be voted on the May 20th regular meeting. Okay.
Well, good evening. I'm Lisa Santucci. I'm the director. We're here for our regular protocol of presenting our 2026 tax budget. As we are a school district library, we fall underneath the jurisdiction of the school board. The library enjoys our ongoing collaboration that we have with the many teachers here in the district. It's been a wonderful relationship, and we hope to continue. Karen Swanson will just briefly mention what we did with what's in front of you, a little bit different.
Good evening. As you heard, I'm Karen Swanson, fiscal officer of the Tipp City Library. Just to repeat what Lisa said, we do enjoy the collaboration with the school and the students. It's always nice to see when the classrooms come in and check out the library. They're so excited. It's fun to hear them. So thank you for the opportunity to present our tax budget to you for your approval. This year's tax budget is presented slightly differently than we've done in the past. I wanted to highlight that. The income is set at a 0 increase to reflect the current proposed budget in the state house.
We don't have one.
Yeah. And then also the expenses are, instead of blanket 3% that's been presented in past years, it's a little more dynamic to reflect the current flow of expenses as they go. Some are increasing at 10%, but some are actually reducing. So we wanted to be a little bit more representative of what's actually going on at the library. So I'm available at the library if you guys have any questions. And thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. Okay. Okay. So just again, we're issuing a notice of a public hearing to be held on May 20th at 5:45 p.m., which will be before our regular board meeting, and then the tax budget will be voted on at the May 20th regular meeting. And then at this time, we'll do citizens addressing the board. We have one citizen comment this evening, Mr. Don Watson.
I'm Don Watson, West State Route 571, Tipp City, Ohio. I will be reading the Word of God some, but I'd like to precede it with what the Word of God is. It's sharper than a two-edged sword, dividing soul from spirit, and God wins. There's no losing with God. I would tag on, you guys were talking in the work session about revenue. You could get more revenue if you put up solar panels on your 50 acres. They're offering about $2,000 an acre, and I imagine you're less than 200. So you can make quite a increase to your revenue if you would. They don't buy the land, they lease the land, and they do all expenses. So it's no expense for the school district. Mark 12:30-31, Jesus saying, printed in red, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. Second commandment is, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Now, a lot of people think their love is your neighbor next door, but love goes all the way around the world. And we are so blessed in Tipp City, Ohio, America. I mean, traveling 20 mission trips to third world countries, I've seen the poorest of the poor, and we are blessed with a education, first of all, and we are blessed with freedom of religion in the United States. All of you took an oath of office to do your best for the students and staff and taxpayers of Tipp City, Ohio. That is safeness from danger and harm in their life. when things are going wrong, look inside, be strong, for with God he is always right and always wins. With the spiritual gift God gave me of discernment, the ways words come out of your mouth determines your character. What comes out of the glare of your eyes is the meaning in your life. According to the Bible in Psalms 90, as for the days of our life, they contain 70 years, and due to strength, 80 years. His second coming is called the rapture, and I touched on this a couple years. I passed out a paper. I didn't go any further than that, but I want for you to realize tonight that you're voting. You're voting more than just tonight and the next year or two. If, from what I read in the Jewish faith is the chosen ones, in the rapture, when it says 70, 80 years in a generation, that means that when Israel became a country in May 14th, 1948, 80 years will be here in 2028. So I don't know what you believe. I hope you believe in God, but be ready. Because if you're not, then I will add comes the 7 years of tribulation. And that's going to be hell on earth for schools and everybody, because Christians are all gone. So if you can imagine that, that's terrible. God is truth, hope, and accountability. Love, peace, joy, to name a few. The devil is lies, and more evil, discrediting, gossip, stealing, killing, adultery, to name a few. To do your best, you do not put students and staff on the third floor of a building. We see 2 other school districts in Miami County, Bethel and Miami East. They have 1 floor. I talked to a 3rd grade teacher at Miami East. They don't have room on 1 floor for 1 floor of students in their tornado drills. As you realize, you can't put kids in a restroom because of windows and kids in the gymnasium because of windows. They have to be in the hallway where there is no windows. As we hear from the weathermen every time the sirens go off for a tornado. We had 74 record tornadoes last year. Pardon?
Time's up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm not going to take more than a minute and a half. Not even that. Sure, Lydia. Thank you, Amber. Appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Lydia Kleiman, 6385 Peters Road, Tip City, Ohio. Hello to some of you I know, some of you I don't, some of you taught me, some of you didn't. I'd just like to put it on the record, that way nobody here can say that they didn't know, but on December of 2023, an article came out in the Tip Gazette, and I posted it today in the group just so everyone could peruse the plans. But the plans were presented by the superintendent at the time that the taxpayers voted for a 2-story building, and I keep getting private messages from teachers and staff that are upset that they're too afraid to come forward and saying, if you come out against the people that work over in the building, that your time in TIP is not very long. So I'm not the only one that's thinking this, but I guess courage is a little bit short at this time. But I just want it on the record that it was voted for the taxpayers for a 2-story building, not a 3-story building, and there's not really been reception for any kind of feedback that the community does not like these plans. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
you. You all have the meetings in front of you, so I will go through a summary on that. But I want to first start out by letting everybody know that one of our own students from Tip City won and came in third place, I should say, for computer repair and technical support and configuration and troubleshooting with the Miami Valley CTC Business Professionals of America. And these students will now go on and compete in the Leadership Conference on May 7th through the 11th of 2025 in Orlando, Florida. And our student was Gage Williams, so I'd like to make sure that we all give him an
Awesome. That's awesome.
Okay, so as of today, we now have received 1,935 applications for the 2025 or 25-26 school year. And we probably won't get many more at this point in time. It kind of stabilizes at this point. So the top 5 most requested by first choice programs are: number 1 was pre-nursing, 2 was cosmetology, 3 was dental assisting, 4 was welding, and 5 was veterinary science. Now the top 5 school districts represented this year by total applications are Northmont, who had 205, Huber Heights had 143, Trotwood had 111, and Miamisburg had 104, and Vandalia had 99. And we also have 54 students now enrolled with the Career Connections program. So some of the upcoming dates that are important is May 5th, we have the Senior Portfolio Show with digital design, graphic arts, and photography labs. That'll be between 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock that day. Also, May 5th through the 9th is our Staff Appreciation Week. May 7th is the last day for senior students on campus. May 9th is the Youth Connections graduation and award ceremony. May 15th is the last day for junior students on campus. May 16th, we have the summer school send-off and staff recognition lunch. May 16th, we also have senior recognition ceremony, which is at the University of Dayton Arena. May 16th is the last day of staff on campus. As far as our agenda items that we had, I'll summarize those. We had 2, these are all pretty much the same procedures we go through each meeting, but there were 2 resignations and retirements. We had 3 new employment as certificated staff. We had, employment of personnel staff was 3 members. And then we had approval of 1 volunteer. And then we also approved several courses to be approved. And then we had 2 textbook additions and approval of 3 separate donations. And then we also approved the Miami Valley CTC Preschool Parent Handbook for 2025-26. And then we also adopted, just like we do at this time of the year for our schools, 18 separate adoption of board policies. So with that, that's my report.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Maines. Is there anyone else do you have any reports, Cindy?
The Tip Monroe Community Services met this past Thursday. Unfortunately, I was out of town. I do have some, they reported they raised $14,000 from the purse auction. They'd like to thank everyone for all the purses. That goes directly to the summer lunch program. So that's a wonderful thing. They are also, they mentioned in the minutes that the cost for the Destination Imagination team under Renee, that's going to global, they're trying to raise $5,500. So if you're interested in donating to that, contact Tip Monroe Community Services. And that's all.
Awesome.
They're looking for camp counselors for
Yes.
summer programs too.
Did you guys hear that in the back? Tip Monroe is looking for camp counselors if you're looking for something to do this summer.
It's only in the mornings too. It's only
See, morning job. Up your alley, kids. I know
So you
it.
can go to the pool in the afternoon.
There you go. All right. So I recently went to the TIP Educational Endowment meeting, and just as a reminder, they still have two awards this year that they're doing compared to previous years where we just did Teacher of the Year. Now we're doing Teacher of the Year and Red Devil of the Year. So parents, if you have a teacher, or students, if you have a teacher that's really meant a lot to you, or somebody in the building that's not necessarily a teacher but they're really important, please make sure you fill out the application. They ask that you please fill out the application completely and not just put one sentence, because that's not very helpful to determine what they've done for you as an educator. So just a reminder that that is out there. Liz, do you remember the deadline? Is it May? I do not remember the deadline either, and it's not on this paper. Yeah, but it's online. It's online on our school website. Okay. All right, next agenda item. Sorry, guys. Okay. Next is treasurer's report. So we have monthly financial report. Mr. Stevens.
All right, in front of you is the March 2025 monthly financial report. This includes our bank reconciliation and also includes the cash balance and our budget versus actual, comparing our 5-year forecast with our included appropriation changes that we've made throughout the year. I will point out on the budget versus actual report, we have now completely collected all of the property taxes for the year. So you can see that our property tax revenues and our utility personal property tax revenues have been fully collected. And we did collect slightly higher than what was anticipated. We will continue to receive the other revenues as expected. The unrestricted grants and aid, that's our foundation money. We'll see that come in over the next 3 months evenly. The state share of local property taxes, there's still $1 million remaining to be received. That is our homestead and rollback money that comes from the state, and that has been received. So that line item is done as of April. So right now our revenue is tracking appropriately, and nothing is coming in under budget. On the expense side, we are currently right where we should be, with just a little under for personnel services. That's our salary. For the payroll target, we've had 19 out of our 26 payrolls, and that would be about 73.1%. You can see we're currently at 72.7%, so we're 0.4% off there. But our expenditures are all currently under budget, except for the capital outlay. But if you recall, this has always been out of whack, because at the beginning of the year we did pay for the roof project that was done, which really shot us up. We hadn't had any capital outlay expenditures. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, not a roof.
Yeah.
LT Ball renovation project.
Yeah.
I think the roof was the previous year.
Yeah, it was previous year.
Yeah, thank you. And so right now, our purchase services are under budget, and our other expenses, and the other expenses are largely due to the ESC charges that we pay to the Miami County ESC, the Montgomery County ESC, and the Midwest Regional ESC. So those are other services. But right now we're trending lower, which is a good thing. Better to over budget and outperform than under budget and get really bad. So Aaron and I went over the budget earlier today. We believe that we're going to end the year strong. Again, as I mentioned in the work session, I reminded the board members of the RIF that had to occur this past summer to help save $2 million in funding in our salaries and benefits. And without that, we would not be seeing. We would definitely have have expenditures outpacing revenues. So I'm very happy with where we are right now. I mentioned earlier in the work session that the 5-year forecast we will have a revised 5-year forecast review at the May board meeting. Because of what we discussed with the changes that we're currently looking at, proposed changes in the budget for the state taxes and for the foundation funding. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do yet. I'm going to be working with K-12 Consulting and other treasurers trying to determine what everybody is thinking is going to happen, what we should project for that. We will be conservative. Again, we're not going to show huge losses. I'm not going to show huge gains. I'm just going to try to put it right where we think it's going to be. I'm not going to try to make things look worse or look way better than what they really are. We want to show what's actually happening. So we'll look forward to that next month. Any questions from board members that I could answer at this time?
The unrestricted grants and aid, looks like that's way less than oh no, that one is okay. It's the restricted grants and aid was way less than what we had for the budget. What was causing that?
We're still waiting on, that's timing of receipts. We're waiting on reimbursement for threshold money. That's additional costs spent on special needs children that are above and beyond what we get funded for. We'll receive that threshold cost reimbursement. And then we also have the science of reading reimbursements that we had staff members that we paid extra training for, required by the state of Ohio, and the state will reimburse us for those expenses. So we're waiting on, I want to say it's over $250,000 of revenue that we're waiting on timing-wise. So once that comes in, we'll be right where we should be.
Thank you.
Dragonfly, that's a banking.
So the Dragonfly is the institution that we use for all of our athletic payments to officials.
I just need to be reminded.
Yeah. So instead of us cutting checks individually to every official, we have them sign up with Dragonfly. They sign up for all of their games to the Dragonfly system, and then the athletic directors at the high school and the middle school, they authorize the payments to them through that system. And that Dragonfly will also issue their 1099 tax ID, their tax forms at the end of the year for us as well. So it's a very good system.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, moving on. Next, item B is fiscal year 25 appropriation amendments. So at this time, I would love a motion for the approval of the fiscal year 25 appropriation amendments.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Mr. Maines. Is there a second?
I'll second.
She was faster. I'm sorry. Seconded by Mrs. McMurray. Is there any discussion? Mr. Stevens, do you want the floor on that one?
Yeah, I forgot to pull this up.
Okay.
Give me 1 moment.
You're good.
We did have some changes in our appropriations there at the general fund. I booked at the last board meeting, the board approved moving the funds that were left over from the old curriculum funds in the 001, 9001, 9002, and 9003. That was the programs that we did 6 years ago and 7 years ago for curriculum, math, and science. And so those funds, we're not using those 9001, 2, and 3 funds anymore, so we're just going to put that money back into the regular general fund, which is 001, 0000 to be used. And so we're just cleaning house. So the appropriations, because we're doing transfers out and transfers in, we just had to budget for those. So that's the general fund. Let me check here on the others.
Miscellaneous state grant.
Yeah, where is that? There we go. In the 18 fund, that's we are receiving donations for the DC trip.
Okay.
We're receiving donations for the shirts that they're going to be wearing. So we had somebody that donated 100% of the cost for that. So we had to budget the revenue for the donation and the expense for the shirts. In the 19 fund, we received some new Tip City Foundation grants that were board approved. And then in the 200 fund, Power of the Pen and the Honor Society, they had to increase their budgets a little bit for some necessary expenses that they wanted to do. In the 300 fund, the softball team, the track team, and the cheer accounts all had additional expenses. They had additional revenues come in from fundraising and such, and they're spending, so they're just appropriating those. And then last but not least, we did receive the 2025 Attorney General Safety Grant Award for $10,538. I believe we requested $25,000, but we sent it in 2 requests. There was an original request and then a revised request. So I think they funded the original. I'm just waiting to see if they fund the revised. We had requested funding for stop arm cameras for the buses. So when the bus stops and the stop arm opens up, they want to have a camera on that for safety reasons. And then also for providing professional development training and safety and such for staff members. So hopefully we get the additional funds for that. But those are the accounts and why we had changes in appropriations. In total, $37,800 was for the transfers, and then the other $24,000 is just miscellaneous grants and such.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote on the fiscal year 25 appropriation amendments.
Maines,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes. And my screen just went blank. 20 seconds, guys. Technology loves me. Okay. Next is annual maintenance fund transfer. I'd love a motion for the approval of the following transfer. It's a transfer of $302,893.40 to the Permanent Improvement Fund. The fund number is 034-9001 OFC Maintenance Fund. OFCC required annual maintenance fund transfer per resolution 2024.11.07, final transfer in fiscal year 2047. Do I have a motion?
All motion.
Moved by Mr. Thompson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
You guys are also done. Okay. And seconded by Mr. Maines. And I'm not going to read all of that again, so I'm just going to say approval of the following transfer in the public content section. Is there any discussion?
I'll just go ahead and remind the board, this transfer is required as part of the OFCC agreement. Instead of going out and getting a $500,000 levy to operate and continue and maintain the new school building, we are reserving part of our current PI levy that we have in place. And so this $302,893 is an amount we have to transfer every year from the 003 fund into the 034 maintenance fund. That was approved in resolution back in November. We already approved this resolution that we would make the transfers, and this is just authorizing the transfer. We will do this every year until 2047, when the last transfer will be done. That money that we put into the 34 fund can be used on any maintenance that needs to be done on the K-12 building or anything that occurs in the high school renovation project. So.
Okay. Any questions? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
Thompson?
Yes.
Maines?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Next is our consent agenda item. So consent agenda doesn't need discussion, but listed under consent agenda is our prior meeting minutes from March 18th, prior meeting minutes from March 18th, the regular meeting, so work session and regular. Resignations, new hires for 24-25 and new hires for 25-26, supplemental corrections, stage crafters for this coming year, overnight and out-of-state trips, third grade testing resolution, curriculum maps and standard adoption, driver physicals and drug alcohol testing, contract for transportation with Troy Christian Schools, which we do every year, contract for transportation with senior assistants, which we do every year, Doug and Dory Springer Family Fund gift acceptance.
John.
Sorry. Wow. Tip Foundation grant acceptance, Richard and Hazel Maines donation, and the Tip City Rotary Club donation. I just want to say thank you for all the donations as well. Any other quick things you guys want to mention?
Thank you to Mike Bagadies.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I'm excited for his new job. I think he's excited too. So, and Amy Armentrout, thank you for your service. All right. I'll need a motion, don't I? Just kidding.
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda items.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, and we will proceed to vote on the consent agenda items.
McMurray,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes?
Drum,
Yes.
Maines,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, consent agenda passes. Next item of business is new business, item A, Neola 43.2 Winter 2025 update. This is a first read. So for informational purposes, all the policies are listed under public content that were gone over in our last Neola session. I don't remember what day that was. Yes, I couldn't remember. Yeah, so at this time I will take a motion for, no, just kidding, it's informational purposes. We'll do a motion next month, just kidding. Any questions, discussion?
Is there anything different from the last time we spoke about these?
These are first reads.
These are whole new.
All new.
These are all new. Yes. So,
Not a whole lot.
No.
Updating stuff from
mhm.
winter Christmas bill, legislative Christmas bill. There'll be some more coming out here soon as well. I think once the House budget gets through, that'll be a set up another round of changes. So not a whole lot of changes to it. This is the one where we talked about, board policy around cell phones and things like that, but that's.
Yeah.
That's,
That could be going out the website too.
yeah, the legislation does here soon, so.
Okay.
All that is within here and all the changes are in green and the deletions are in red, but really not a whole lot of, not a big issue.
And then there, just like last time, there were some policies that were rescinded because they're no longer active, like as far as nobody in the state is doing them, things like that. And so there's one policy that we rescinded because it's just not even, it was our own policy that we had made up.
Yep.
So it doesn't follow under Neola or any reason for us to have things. So. Any other discussion, question? Okay. That concludes our first read. All right, graduating class of 2025. I would love a motion for the approval of the 207 graduates for the graduating class. I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm getting emotional.
I'll move that we approve the
Thank
graduating class
Alright.
of 2025, 207 graduates.
I think it's because I know so many kids in it this time. And Ange, would you like to say
I would love to second.
Fantastic. Is there any discussion?
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations, seniors. It is a big deal.
Their last day will be May 16th.
I know. I feel like it's coming so quick. Some of you are very excited. I know. Oh, I'm not. Okay.
So just for purposes, fun purposes, it will be 30 years. I'm not sure of the day. I'm sure my fellow friends who graduated in 1995 together, but it will be 30 years when my son walks across the stage since I graduated and shook that man's hand as I walked across the stage to get my diploma. So
Oh, that's pretty cool.
pretty cool history.
That's awesome. I'm excited. All right, so there's a motion on the table to approve the 207 graduates of the graduating class of 2025. Of course, subject to successfully completing all graduation requirements and fulfilling all their obligations. And the seniors' last day will be on May 16th of 2025. Even though it says 4. David says 4. Okay.
Doesn't anymore.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and have a vote.
Dillard,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes.
Maines,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Yes. All right, motion passes. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I would love a motion for the approval of the PRO phase submission. Moved by Mr. Thompson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Maines. And discussion. Mr. Thompson, did you want to start? Is there anything you want to start?
Just a little further explanation, maybe from Mr. Moran on this.
So this is just part of the process, this is the program requirements, and then at the bottom, I mentioned, when we first were talking about making sure we have a lasting facility, having not a flat roof, but a slope metal roof. So we had budgeted contingency monies to do that. That's part of this. If you go to page 227, that tells you the upgrade to the slope metal roof is estimated at that 2.1 million. When we reconcile, anything over that amount has to be reconciled. So we're saying, yes, we want this roof. We're going to pay for this roof because it's long-term benefit versus flat roof. It just seems like things in high school, we have flat roofs or any other flat roof, you get water coming in. So we want to upgrade to that. The other piece on here is the, if you go to, sorry, I just lost it. It's the demolition part, so you go to 233. You see a budget overage right now. So there's a building budget and there's like a demo budget. Right now, the demo budget for demo is a little higher than expected. If that pocket of money to demo the middle school and the abatement for LP Ball exceeds an amount, then we would be responsible for that. That's what this is saying. That's just part of this project.
Which we have contingency funds.
There's contingency. There's contingency money built into the project, and we have contingency monies outside of it. So we know there might be things that come up, but this just puts it in a formal agreement that we know. As of right now, and we'll do it again at the DD design. We'll do it at the GMP one, and anytime we do another guaranteed maximum price, we'll show things may change. Once the bids come in, we'll have an idea, right? But if we have, we don't have any change orders, then we don't have, hopefully the budget stays the same.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep making changes to it.
So as for this, these costs are captured within contingency. This isn't over and above.
No, this is within the contingencies of overages that we want for the upgrades to flooring and roofing specifically.
Gotcha.
Because we're looking at the long term.
Yeah. Smart.
Any other questions? That was my same question when I met about this, is making sure that contingencies, I knew that they were built in, but like making sure that we were still within that budget.
Flat roofs are terrible.
Yeah, we don't want
Every
that.
10 years, you got to be doing something to it.
Exactly. So, all right, any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we will go ahead and proceed to vote on the PRO phase submission for the roof.
It's for the project.
Sorry, for the project, my bad, for the project, sorry.
It's a super sweet read.
Yeah.
Read it all.
All right, I got Maines down for both first and second.
Oh.
So who was second?
It was Thompson and then Maine.
Thompson was first.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Maines.
Yes.
Mrs. Dillard.
Yes.
Mrs. Drum.
Yes.
Mrs. McMurray.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm writing this so I don't forget what it is. So this is, okay. You're right.
Yeah.
No, it's not listed in there.
I'm gonna go grab it.
Okay. Do you want to do the next one too before I read it?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So it was a bit confusing. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Okay. Next is new business item D. I would love a motion for approving the schematic design phase submission and authorizing design development phase services for the OFCC portion of the K-12 to 8 renovations and additions project.
All motion.
Motion by Mr. Thompson.
I'll
Is there, okay, and seconded by
Second.
Mrs. McMurray. And Mr. Thompson, any discussion?
No, I like where we're at.
Okay.
It's a great plan, and I think it's going to serve our community really well.
Ms. Murray, do you have anything?
Nope. We've discussed, we've done homework, we've looked. I think that in life, nothing is ever perfect, and we need to move forward. I built a house a couple of years ago, and, are there things that you'd like to change down the road because different things happen? Yeah, but we've got to get a foundation set so we can move forward.
So are these are the same plans that we saw presented last
Mhm.
time? Was there a change in parking? I saw that, there was some red lines. Was there?
The red lines are like water lines.
Oh,
This-
okay.
Yeah.
You look at,
I thought the entrance.
you look at everything they have.
Yeah.
There's things that are going on, with water, sewer lines, stormwater, that's all, it's not done, there's still work to be done. But it's, I don't know what the 50% done, and now that maybe will be roughly 80% done. And then the construction, will be 100% done for
Okay.
documents.
Wasn't there some discussion about adding parking or that we did? I don't know if this included that. But there was a change in parking area.
We have a lot of parking.
They mentioned
this-
that at the last meeting.
Mhm.
I believe.
This was
Yeah.
about, this had to do, I think what you're referring to is the parking entrances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talked about, how students were coming in, and remember that the group we did at the science fair, that talked about maybe a different way of doing it. And that's a different flow of traffic in to increase traffic flow and drop off and pick up for students and families. Not actually additional stuff, it's just additional flow into the parking lot that they're working on. It has to be a traffic study.
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff for that, for all that, but that's what we were discussing, and I'm gonna mention that the science fair girls, that they had a really a good idea that could drop off more kids at one time, maybe 2 entrances.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
have some value.
All right.
Has any more communication with city council been done regarding the construction entrance?
We're continuing to work on
Just
that.
keep-
We're waiting on them with they're talking about the emergency access
Mhm.
piece. Yeah, they're
Looking at-
waiting on it from them.
Got
There
it.
hasn't been any
Got
red
it.
flags towards that.
Okay,
We're still working with that under that assumption.
okay.
So, I did a little research on like 3-story schools, because there are like 7 or 8 in the state.
I listed them.
Yeah, and some are
Yeah.
actually very close to us, and so I called some of my friends who have children in those buildings, and none of them had anything to say that was an issue. So I did a little research on that too, and then I spent time chatting with educators in our district too over the last couple of weeks, and asked them questions like, "What are your concerns? What are things that are bothering you?" About the building, and as far as an educator goes, I think they're very excited about the fact that they were listened to and that they had an opportunity to present their ideas on these plans. So that's
And this
kinda
is
where we
a
are.
building.
Yes.
This is not desks and chairs and
No.
flooring and paint color. I mean, this is a building, and even these can change if something has to change.
Yes.
So just because it's here doesn't mean
No.
something could cause it to change. And I think it's part of the building process. Might have to move a door, it happens.
Mhm.
So,
Because it's all a proposed idea.
correct.
As far as there'll be more government will be meeting with teachers
Mm-hmm.
after testing is over with, to get input on the classroom.
The aesthetics.
The aesthetics of the, yes.
Food services coming out there. A lot of different hardware,
Mhm.
exterior, interior, a lot of those things coming up. Just go through the staff.
Fantastic. All right, any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will proceed to vote.
Thompson,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Maines,
Yes.
Drum.
Yes. Motion passes. For the approval of the schematic design phase submission and authorizing design development phase services for the OFCC portion of the pre-K-8 renovation and addition project. All right, next is the bus maintenance building contract. I'd love a motion for approval of the contract agreement between Tip City Exempted Village Schools, the owner, Level NB contractor, and Garmin Miller and Associates, Incorporated Architecture for the construction of the bus maintenance building.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Mr. Maines. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mrs. Dillard. Is there any discussion? I have a question. Did we decide on color?
I was going to
It's the
say.
dark.
Yes. Okay. Excited. Yeah, I think it'll look like aesthetically very nice.
Yes.
Yes. We went with dark colors, just
Okay.
so you guys know. We're excited about that. So we had a choice. Okay, awesome. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
Maines,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, motion passes for the approval of the contract between Tip City Exempted Village Schools, Level NB contractor, and Garmin Miller and Associates Incorporated Architecture for architect for the construction of the bus maintenance building. Letter F under new business is the motion to approve the declaration of the following items as obsolete and authorize their sale by public auction on the govdeals.com to the highest bidder in accordance with board policy 7310. It is 4 round cafe tables with 8 attached seats per table and 1 stainless steel kitchen prep table. Motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Mrs. Dillard. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Oh. And this is for the public auction of items. Any discussion?
Where did those come from?
I don't know. We'd have to ask Mrs. Hagan.
Tables were purchased at the high school for COVID and are no longer used at all.
Huh.
The steel kitchen prep table came from Nevin Koppig, and we waited because we repurposed about everything in the kitchen except for that one particular item. We have plenty, so.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
Dillard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Drum,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Maines.
Yes.
All right. Next, Tip High School gutter and damage repairs. Drainage. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with my words today? Drainage repairs, MMI approval. A motion to approve Midwest Maintenance, INC, MMI, to complete necessary repairs to Tip High School not to exceed $50,000. And then there's information in public content as well. Do you guys want me to read that?
I already read it.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Motion by Mr. Thompson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Maines. Any discussion?
Yes. Was this the only proposal we received, or was there any other companies that provided a proposal for this?
We looked for, I believe we looked for others, but did not get back. This is a kind of emergency situation. We have one spot at the high school, we think water's getting in, that we need to get fixed ASAP. We like it to be part of the OSCC project, but we can't wait 12 to 18 months through that process. So this is kind of a emergency piece. There's a couple other pieces that we're gonna roll into the project, but this is an emergency piece that we need to address ASAP and get them on the docket now. Is important.
No, it's not working out.
It's somebody that has done work for us in the other buildings, not somebody new to the district. Okay, but it's worth.
Is there going to be additional? Because I know that during the musical, there was water coming through.
That's part of OFCC.
That's part of OFCC.
This is strictly with the gutters.
Okay.
If you look around the building, you will see areas of where the water's not being directed correctly.
Okay.
And there's divots because of that. As well as we think when we look at the camera system to ensure proper water flow, we think there might be some stoppages that is actually backing up some water. That obviously doesn't help us out with moving water away from the building. Not something we're excited to deal with. Shouldn't be something we should be dealing with. But when we have the building looked at, this is one that needs to be done.
Absolutely.
If you look every 10 feet, you look up, you can see where the gutters were connected together, and then on the ground there's a divot. So this has been leaking from everyone.
Fantastic. Well, at least
And that's separate of what was happening in the sound room.
No, that wasn't the leak. Well, the leak during the performance of the Mermaid was above the electrical, the sound, not upstairs, right behind the seats.
Which is why we're fixing the roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But there's leaks in the hallways.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen the building.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
My building had crows peck holes all over it.
Nice.
Literally over 60 holes.
No, I have a woodpecker that yeah.
This is not.
This is not
we don't believe this
woodpecker
is
related.
animals, but, it's damaging the building.
Yeah.
We don't take care of this problems.
Okay.
And big costs.
Yeah, and we don't want to be replacing things every year
No.
of like $1 million
No.
here and $1 million there, like we've been doing in the past. So good to get it taken care of on the front end. All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and proceed to vote on the motion to approve the Midwest Maintenance INC to complete necessary repairs at the Tip High School.
Thompson?
Yes.
Maines?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
McMurray?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. At this time, we're 9A is adjourned to executive session. I'd love a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purposes authorized under Board of Education Policy 0166 and ORC 121.22G1.
All motion.
Moved by Mrs. McMurray. Is there a second? I'll just second it. All right, any discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and vote.
McMurray?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
Maines?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, motion passes. The time is now 7:11 and we are heading into executive. Okay, the time is now 7:37 p.m. and we are back from executive session. No
formal action.
Thank you. No formal action will be taken. All right, upcoming meetings. So our next work session and regular board meeting is scheduled for May 20th, 2025. The work session will begin at 5 p.m. and the regular meeting will begin at 6 p.m. At this time, I would love a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll motion.
Moved by Mrs. McMurray. Is there a second?
I'll second. You know I love you all.
That's funny. Okay, and second by Mrs. Dillard. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote.
McMurray?
Yes.
Dillard?
Yes.
Drum?
Yes.
Maines?
Okay.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, the time is now 7:38 and this